Let's try it again. Good evening. Good evening. Very good, very good. My name is Nick, and I am the youth minister here at Wilmington United Methodist Church. On behalf of our members and our staff, welcome. It's nice to see so many folks here on a brisk, chilly Friday night. It's really kind of nice that it's cold finally for November. Just one piece of housekeeping before we start the show. If you have one of these little things, turn it off, please. Excellent. You guys are in for a real treat. This is our fifth season. We've done a lot of different productions. This is the fifth season of productions here at our church. They've been working really hard, so I think you guys will enjoy it. So without further ado, Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yes, indeed. My sister Martha and I have been talking all week about your sermon last Sunday. It's really wonderful, Dr. Harper. In only 2 short years, you've taken on the spirit of Brooklyn.
It's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
You see, living here next to the church all of our lives, we've seen many ministers come and go. And the spirit of Brooklyn, as we always say, is friendliness. And your sermons are not so much sermons as friendly talks.
Personally, I have always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons. Or have I met him yet?
No, dear, not yet. Are the biscuits good?
Bully!
Do you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
Oh no. I'm afraid I have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that lovely jam.
But you haven't tried the quince. We always put a little apple in with it to take the tartness out.
No, thank you.
We'll send you over a jar.
No, you keep it here. That way I can be sure of having your biscuits with it.
I do hope they don't make us use that imitation flour again. I mean, with this war trouble. It may not seem very charitable of me, but I've almost come to the conclusion that this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
Oh, if Europe were on another planet.
Europe, sir?
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way.
Gun?
Teddy?
To the west. There's your danger. There's your enemy. Japan.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
Teddy.
No, Aunt Abby. Not so much talk about Europe and more about the canal.
Oh, let's not talk about war. We have another cup of tea here?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
No, thank you, Miss Abby. I must admit that war and violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
It is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day. They're all here in this house. The gentle virtues that went out with candlelight and good manners and low taxes.
It's one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn, just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it, except for the electricity, and we use it as little as possible. It was Mortimer who persuaded us to put it in.
I can understand that. Your nephew Mortimer seems to live only by electric light.
Well, poor boy has to work so late. I understand he's taking Elaine to the theater with him again tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be home shortly.
Delighted!
We're so happy that Mortimer takes to the theater with him.
Well, it's a new experience for me, having to wait up till 3 o'clock in the morning waiting for my daughter to be brought home.
Oh, Dr. Harper, I hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well,
I'd feel so guilty if you did, Sister Martha and I. I mean, since it was here in our home that your daughter met Mortimer.
of course, Miss Abby, and I'll say so immediately that I believe Mortimer himself to be a quite worthy gentleman. But I'll also admit that I have watched the growing intimacy between him and my daughter with some trepidation, for one reason, Miss Abby.
You mean his stomach, Dr. Harper.
Stomach?
His dyspepsia. He's bothered with it so, poor boy.
No, Miss Abby, I'll be frank with you. I'm speaking of your nephew's unfortunate connection to the theater.
A theater? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, I know. But a drama critic is constantly exposed to the theater. And I don't doubt that what some of them do develop an interest in it.
Oh, not Mortimer. You need have no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes, he writes awful things about the theater. Can't blame him, poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about. And then they just turn around and make them take this terrible night position.
My.
But as he says, the theater can't last that much longer anyway. In the meantime, it's a living. Yes, I think if we give the theater another year or two, perhaps. Oh, no, I suppose that is. Oh, no, thank you, Teddy, I'll go. Oh, come in, Officer.
Oh, Miss Brewster.
How are you, Mr. Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster. What news have you brought me?
Colonel, we got nothing to report.
Splendid. Thank you, gentlemen. At ease.
You know Dr. Harper.
Sure. Hello, Dr. Harper.
We've come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes.
That's a splendid thing you men do. Fixing up the discarded toys so that the poor children can have a happier Christmas.
And you know, it gives us something to do when we're sitting around the station. You get tired of playing cards, so you start cleaning your gun. First thing you know, you shoot yourself in the foot.
So you go upstairs and get that big box from your Aunt Martha's room. How is Mrs. O'Hara today? Mrs. O'Hara's been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, she's better now. A little weak still.
I'm going to get you some beef broth to take to her.
Don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much already.
We made it this morning. Sister Martha's taking some to poor Mr. Polinski right now. Won't be a minute. Sit down and be comfortable, all of you.
She shouldn't go to all that trouble.
Listen, try to stop her or her sister from doing something nice and for nothing. They don't even care how you vote.
When I received my call to Brooklyn and moved in next door, my wife wasn't well. And when she died, and for months before, well, if I know what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, it's because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, you promised not to do that anymore.
But I have to call a meeting of my cabinet to get the release of those supplies.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
Oh, he's quite harmless.
Yeah, I suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. A lot worse people he could think he was.
Darn shame, a nice family hatching such a cuckoo.
Yeah, well, you know, Teddy's father, the old girl's brother, he was a genius of some kind. And their father, Teddy's grandfather, seems to me I heard he was a little crazy too.
Yeah, crazy like a fox. He made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, Patton Madison. He was a quack of some kind. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He turned the house here into some sort of clinic and tried them out on people.
Yeah, and he made mistakes occasionally, too.
Yeah, but the department never bothered him too much about that on account of he was so useful on autopsies, especially the poison cases.
But whatever he did, he left his daughters fixed for life. Thank God for that.
Not that they ever spend any of them on themselves.
Well, I'm well aware of their gratuities.
You don't know the tenth of it. I remember when I was with Missing Persons Bureau. There was this old man we were trying to trace. We never did find him. But there was this rental company. Had this house listed for furnished rooms. They don't rent rooms. But you can bet somebody coming here looking for a room, they're going to leave here with a good meal and probably a few dollars in their kit.
It's just their way of digging up people to do some good to.
Well now, isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, Miss Brewster.
How do you do, Mr. O'Hara, Dr. Harper, Mr. Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster. We dropped in to get the Christmas toys.
Oh yes, Teddy's Army and Navy, they wear out. They're all packed.
Yeah, the colonel's upstairs now getting them. Seems that the cabinet has to approve it.
Oh yes, of course. I hope Mrs. O'Hara is better.
Aw, she's doing fine, ma'am. Your sister's getting me some broth to take to her.
We made it this morning. I just got back from taking some to a poor man who broke so many bones.
Oh, you're back, Martha. How's Mr. Berninski?
Oh dear, it's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. He's going to amputate in the morning.
Can we be present?
No, I asked him, but he said it was against the rules of the hospital.
Couldn't be of any service, and you spare yourself something.
Here's the broth, Mr. O'Hara. Be sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, this is fine. This will make a lot of kids happy. That O'Malley boy, he's nuts about soldiers.
That's General Miles. I've retired him. What's this? The Oregon.
Oh, Teddy, put it back.
But the Oregon goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy.
No, I've given my word to Fighting Bob Evans.
Teddy, dear.
What difference does it make what kid gets it? Bobby Evans, Izzy Cohen. Well, anyway, we'll be running along now, ma'am. Thanks very much.
Not at all. Goodbye.
I must be getting home.
Well, before you go, Dr. Harper.
Charge! Charge the blockhouse!
The blockhouse?
The stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
Oh, he loves being Teddy Roosevelt.
Well, once, a long time ago, remember, Martha? We thought if he would be George Washington, it might be a change for him.
But he stayed under his bed for days and just wouldn't be anybody.
And we'd so much rather he be Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, if he's happy. And what's more important, if you're happy. You'll see that he signs these.
What are they?
Dr. Harper made all arrangements for Teddy to go to Happy Dale Sanitarium after we pass on.
But why should Teddy sign anything now?
It's best that it be all settled. If the Lord should suddenly take you away, perhaps we would be unable to persuade Teddy to commit himself. And that would mean an unpleasant legal procedure. Mr. Witherspoon understands that they're to be filed away until time comes to use them.
Mr. Witherspoon, who's he?
He's the superintendent at Happy Dale.
Oh, Dr. Harper has arranged for him to drop in tomorrow, the next day, to meet Teddy.
I'll be running along, or Elaine will be over here looking for me.
Give our love to Elaine. Oh, Dr. Harper, please don't think harshly of Mortimer because he's a drama critic. Somebody has to do these things.
Abby, did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Yes, and dinner's going to be late too.
So why?
Oh, Teddy, good news for you. You're going to Panama and dig another lot for the canal.
Delighted! That's bully! Just bully! I shall prepare at once for the journey. Charge!
Oh, Abby, while I was out?
Oh, yes, dear, I just couldn't wait for you. I didn't know when you'd be back and Dr. Harper was coming.
But all by
Oh,
yourself?
I got along fine.
Oh, I'll just run downstairs and see.
Oh, no, there wasn't time, and I was all alone.
Well,
Martha, just look in the window seat. Oh, it's Elaine, come in, dear.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha.
oh,
I thought Father was here.
oh, he just this minute left. Didn't you meet him?
No, I took the shortcut through the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet?
No, dear.
No? He asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Not at all.
Why don't you sit down, dear?
But we're going to speak to Mortimer about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, he was brought up to know better. When a gentleman is calling for a young lady, he should call for her at her house.
Oh, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
He does this too often. We're going to speak to him.
Oh, please don't. After young men whose idea of nightlife was to take me to prayer meeting, it's wonderful to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
Oh, it's comforting for us too, because if Mortimer has to see the kind of plays he has to see, at least he's sitting next to a minister's daughter.
Oh, my goodness, Elaine, what must you think of us not having tea cleared away by this time?
Now, Abby, don't bother with anything in the kitchen until Mortimer gets here, and I'll help you. Mortimer should be here in a minute.
Yes. Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I'd better run over and say goodnight to him.
Oh, it's a shame you missed him, dear.
If Mortimer comes, you tell him I'll be right back. Oh, hello, Mort.
Hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Martha.
Oh, Abby, Mortimer's here.
Were you going somewhere?
I was just going over to tell Father not to wait up for me.
Well, I didn't know that was still being done, even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Well, hello, Aunt Abby.
How are you, dear?
Fine. You look well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
Oh, my goodness, it was yesterday, wasn't it? We've seen a great deal of you lately. Well, come, sit down, sit down.
Abby, haven't we something to do in the kitchen? You know the tea thing?
Oh, yes, the tea thing. Well, you just make yourselves at home, just.
Make yourself at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, it's a little obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you'd say.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
Oh, I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just had breakfast. Suppose we wait until after the show.
That'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Not with the little stinker we'll be seeing tonight. From what I've heard about it, we'll be in Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You ought to be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
That musical isn't opening tonight.
No?
Darling, you have to learn the rules. With a musical, there's always 4 changes of the title and 3 postponements. They liked it in New Haven, but it still needs a lot of work.
Oh, I was hoping it was a musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we join the proletariat on the subway and I listen to a lecture about the drama. After a musical, you take me home in a taxi and you make a few passes.
Now, wait a minute, darling. That's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit that after the Berman play, you told me I had authentic beauty, and that's a heck of a thing to say to a girl. It wasn't until after our first musical you told me I had nice legs. And I have, too.
For a minister's daughter, you know a lot about life. Where did you learn it?
In the choir loft.
I'll have to explain it to you sometime, darling.
Which reminds me, I better go and tell Father not to wait up for me.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with a girl who lives in Brooklyn.
Falling in love, or you're not stooping to the articulate, are you?
The only way I can regain my self-respect is to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
No, I've come to the conclusion that you're holding out for legalities.
I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
But I can't wait that long. Where can we get married in a hurry? Say, tonight.
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
I bet your father can make even the marriage service sound pedestrian.
Are you by any chance writing a review of it?
Sorry, dear. Occupational disease. I may give that play tonight good notice.
Darling, don't pretend you love me that much.
Be sure to telephone your father and tell him not to wait up tonight.
I think perhaps tonight I'd better tell him to wait up.
I'll phone Winchell to publish the bands.
Nevertheless.
All right. Everything formal and legal, but no later than next month.
Darling, I'll talk it over with Father and set the date.
No, we'll have to see what's in rehearsal. There'll be other opening nights in October.
Hello, Mortimer!
How are you, Mr. President?
Bully, thank you, just bully. What news have you brought me?
Just this, Mr. President. The country is squarely behind you.
Yes, I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama.
Panama's the cellar. He digs locks for the canal down there.
Oh, you're so sweet with him, and he's so fond of you.
Well, Teddy's always been my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
There's another brother, Jonathan.
I've never heard of him. Your aunts never talk about him.
We don't like to talk about Jonathan. He left New York in a hurry. Jonathan's the kind of boy who liked to cut worms in two with his teeth.
What became of him?
I don't know. He wanted to become a surgeon like grandfather, but he wouldn't go to medical school, so his practice got him into trouble.
Aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
No, we're skipping dinner. We won't have to leave for a half hour.
Well, then I'll leave you two alone together again.
Oh, don't bother, darling. I'm going to run over and talk to Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little. I'll be right back. I'll cut through the cemetery.
If that prayer isn't too long, I'd have time to lead you beside distilled waters.
That's the first time I ever heard you quote the Bible. We think it be a good influence for you?
By the way, I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, darling. Martha, come right in here. I've got the most wonderful news for you. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married.
Oh, Mortimer! Married, oh.
We'd hoped it happened just like this.
Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Just look at her jumping over those gravestones. Say, what is that?
What, dear?
On that statue there, that's a Herendita Carnina.
Oh, no, dear, that's Emma B. Stout ascending into heaven.
No, on Mrs. Stout's left ear, that red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those before in my life.
I don't know how you can be thinking about a bird now when we laying the engagement and everything.
What? It's a vanishing species. Thoreau was very fond of them. By the way, I left a large envelope here last week. It was one of the chapters in my book on Thoreau. Have you seen it?
Well, if you left it here, it must be here somewhere.
When are you going to be married? What are your plans? There must be something more you can tell us about Elaine.
Yes.
Elaine? Oh yes, she thought it was brilliant.
What was, dear?
My chapter on Thoreau.
Well, when Elaine gets back, I think we ought to have a little celebration. We must drink to your happiness. Martha, isn't there some of that Lady Baltimore cake left?
Oh, yes.
And I'll open a bottle of wine.
Oh, and to think it happened in this room.
Now where can I put that?
Well, with your fiancé sitting beside you tonight, I do hope the play will be something you can enjoy for once. Maybe something romantic. What's the name of it?
Murder Will Out.
Dear.
When the curtain goes up, the first thing you'll see will be a dead body. Aunt Abby,
Yes, dear.
you know you were making those plans to send Teddy to that sanitarium Happydale?
Yes, dear. It's all arranged. Dr. Harper was here today and brought the papers for Teddy to sign. Here they are.
Oh, he's got to sign them right away.
Well, that's what Dr. Harper thinks. Then there won't be any legal difficulties after we pass along.
Oh, he's got to sign them right now. He's in the cellar. Get him up here right away.
Oh, there's no hurry, it's that.
No, when Mortimer starts working on the canal, there's no getting his mind on anything else.
Teddy has got to go to Happydale now, tonight.
Oh, no, dear, that's not until after we're gone.
Right away, I tell you, right away.
Why, Mortimer, why do you say such a thing? Why, as long as we live, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
Darlings, I have some terrible news. Now, we've got to try to keep our heads. Now, you know how we've sort of humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless?
Why, he is harmless.
He was harmless. That's why he's got to go to Happydale, why he has to be confined.
Mortimer, why have you suddenly turned against Teddy, your own brother?
Well, you're going to know about it sometime. It might as well be now. Teddy's killed a man.
Nonsense, dear.
There's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
You know?
Yes, dear. But it has nothing to do with Teddy.
Now, Mortimer, just forget about it. Forget you ever saw the gentleman.
Forget?
We never dreamed you'd peek.
Well, what's he doing here? What happened to him?
He died.
Aunt Martha, men just don't get into window seats and die.
No, he died first.
But how?
Oh, Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
Well, how did the poison get in the wine?
Well, we put it in wine because it's less noticeable. When we put it in tea, it had a distinct odor.
You put it in the wine?
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was coming.
So you knew what you had done. And you put the body in the window seat because the doctor was coming.
Not tea. That would not be very nice. Now, Mortimer, you know the whole thing. Just forget about it. Do think Martha and I have a right to our own little secrets?
And don't go tell Elaine. Oh, Abby, while I was out, I dropped in on Mrs. Schultz. She's much better, but she wants us to take Junior to the movies again.
Oh, we must do that tomorrow or next day.
Well, but this time we'll see what we want to see. Junior is not dragging me to one of those scary movies.
Oh, Al, city desk? Yeah. Al, when I left the office, I told you where I was going. Do you remember? Yeah. Well, where did I tell you? That's right. Took me about 30 minutes to get to Brooklyn. What time do you have? Huh. That's right. I must be here. Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
There's a body in there.
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, good heavens. I can't go to the police. What am I going to do?
Well, for one thing, dear, stop being so excited.
And for pity's sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget the whole thing.
But Mr. Hoskins.
Hoskins, dear.
Well, whatever his name is, you can't just leave him there.
Well, we don't intend to, dear.
No, Teddy's down in the cellar now, digging the lock.
You mean you're going to bury him in the cellar?
Oh, yes, dear, that's what we did with the others.
Oh. No, you cannot bury Mr. Hoskins in the... Others?
The other gentleman.
When you say others, do you mean others more than one others?
Oh, yes, dear. Let's see. This is 11, isn't it, Abby?
No, this is 12.
Oh, Abby, I think you're wrong. This is only 11.
No, dear, because I remember when Mr. Hoskins first came, it occurred to me that he would make an even dozen.
Well, you shouldn't count the first one.
Oh, I was counting the first one, so that makes it 12.
Hello? Hello? Oh, George. Oh, it's good to hear your voice.
Well, anyway, they're all down in the cellar.
Shh. No, Al, I'm sober as a lark. Now, look here, Al. You've got to get hold of George. I can't cover the play tonight. That's all there is to it. Well, this is my department. I'm handling it. Now you get a hold of George. Let's see, where were we? 12!
Yes, Abby thinks we should count the first one, and that makes 12.
All right. Who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley. He was a Baptist.
I still don't think we can take full credit for him because he just died.
Martha means without any help from us. You see, Mr. Midgley came here looking for a room.
It was right after you moved to New York.
And it didn't seem right for that lovely room to be going to waste when there's so many people who needed it.
Oh, he was such a lonely old man.
All his kith and kin were dead. Left him so forlorn and unhappy.
We felt so sorry for him.
And when his heart attack came, he sat dead right there, looking so peaceful. Remember, Martha? We made up our minds then and there, if we can help other lonely old men to that same peace, we would.
So, he dropped dead right there. Oh, how awful for you.
Oh no, it was rather like old times. Your grandfather used to have a cadaver or two around the house. You see, Teddy had been digging in Panama, and he thought Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever victim.
That meant he had to be buried immediately.
So we all took him down to the lock and put them there. That's what we told you. There's no need to worry because we know exactly what must be done.
So that's how this all started. That man coming here and dropping dead.
Well, of course we realized we couldn't depend on that happening again, so...
You remember those jars of poison upstairs in grandfather's laboratory all these years?
You know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You've eaten enough of her particularly.
Well, for a gallon of elderberry wine, I take 1 teaspoonful of arsenic, add a half a teaspoon of strychnine, and then just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Yes. As a matter of fact, one of our gentlemen found time to say, how delicious.
I must get things started in the kitchen.
I wish you could stay for dinner.
I'm trying out a new recipe.
I couldn't eat a thing.
I'll be in to help you, dear. Well, I feel so much better now. Oh, you have to wait for Elaine, don't you? How happy you must be. Well, dear, I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
Oh, it's you.
Don't be cross, darling. Father could see I was excited about something, so I told him about us, and that made it hard for me to get away. But listen, darling, he's not going to wait up for me tonight.
Look, Elaine, something's come up. You run along home and I'll call you tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Well, you know I always call you every day or two.
But we're going to the theater tonight.
No, we're not.
Well, why not?
Something's come up, Elaine.
What, darling? Mortimer, you've lost your job.
No, I haven't lost my job. I'm just not covering the play tonight. Now, you run along home, Elaine.
But I've got to know what's happened. Certainly you can tell me.
No, dear, I can't.
But if we're going to be married,
Mary,
have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did. Oh, yes. Well, as far as I know, that's still on. Now, you run along home, Elaine.
Listen, you can't propose to me 1 minute and then throw me out of the house the next.
Oh, I am not throwing you out of the house, darling. Now, you get out of here.
No, I will not get out of here, not until I've had some kind of explanation.
Elaine! Okay, George. Yes, it's important. But just hold on a minute. Well, it can wait. Just hold on. Elaine, you're a beautiful girl, and I love you very much, but something's come up, and I need you to run along home and wait until I call you.
Now, don't try to be masterful.
I do hope when we're married and I have problems to face, I find you less tedious and uninspired.
And when we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! Elaine! Oh. Oh, ow, help. Hello, Al.
That's the doorbell here, not the telephone. How do you do? Come in.
I understand you have a room to rent.
Yes, won't you step in?
Are you the lady of the house?
Yes. I'm Miss Brewster, and this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name is Gibbs.
Oh, won't you sit down? I'm sorry, we're just setting the table for dinner.
Oh, Al, city desk. Al, city desk. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong number.
May I see the room, please?
Oh, won't you sit down and let's get acquainted?
Won't do much good if I don't like the room.
Is Brooklyn your home?
Haven't got a home. Live in a hotel. Don't like it.
Hello, city desk.
Are you Brooklyn your family?
No, I haven't got a family.
Oh, Martha. Well, you've come to just the right house. Do sit down.
Hey, hello, Al, Mort. We got cut off. Look, I can't cover the play tonight. That's all there is to it. I just can't.
What church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
I'm Presbyterian, or used to be.
No, what's George doing in Bermuda? Well, of course I gave him permission to go to Bermuda. It's my department, isn't it? But there must be some right around the office. Look around.
Is there always this much noise?
Oh no, he doesn't live here with us.
Well, there must be some printers around. Oh, no, Al, I got it. How about the office boy? You know, the bright one, the one we don't like? Well, there must be somebody. Look around. I'll hold on.
Can I please see the room?
It's upstairs. Won't you try a glass of our wine before we start up?
Never touch it.
We make it ourselves. It's elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine. I haven't had any of that since I was a boy.
George, how about the printers? Now, the fellow that sets my copy, he ought to know what I write about. His name is Joe. He's the third printer from the left. But watch out, he might turn out to be another Burns Mantle.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
No, but the cemetery's full of them.
No, I'm not drinking, but I'm gonna start now.
Do you serve meals?
We might. But first, just see whether you like our wine.
Mortimer,
Yeah.
Mortimer, not that.
Are you crazy? You want to be murdered? You want to be killed? You want to be poisoned? Get out of here!
Now you spoiled everything.
You can't do things like that. I don't know how to tell you this, but it's not only against the law, it's wrong. It's not a nice thing to do. People wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer.
What I'm trying to say is, this has turned into a very bad habit.
Mortimer, we don't try and stop you from doing things you like to do. I don't see why you should interfere with us.
Hello? All right, Al. Okay. I'll watch the first act and then I'll pan it to pieces. But look, Al, you got to do a favor for me. Get a hold of O'Brien, our lawyer, the head of the legal department. Have him meet me at the theater. Okay, don't let me down. I'm on my way now. Okay, bye. All right, I've got to go to the theater. I can't get out of it, and I'll be back just as soon as I can. But before I go, I want you to promise me this one little thing.
What is it you want us to do?
I love you very much, and I know that you love me, and I would do anything in the world for you. So I want you to do this one little thing for me.
What would you want us to do?
Don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. Don't let anyone in this house, and leave Mr. Hoskins right where he is.
Why?
Well, I want time to think, and I've got quite a little to think about. You know, I wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
Well, what on earth can happen to us?
Well, anyway, you'll do this one little thing for me, won't you?
Well, we had planned to hold services before dinner.
Services?
Certainly. You don't think we buried Mr. Hoskins without a full Methodist service, do you? Why, he was a Methodist.
Can't that wait until I get back?
Then you can join us.
Yes.
Oh, Mortimer, you enjoy the services, especially the hymns. Remember how beautifully Mortimer used to sing in the choir before his voice changed?
And remember, you're not going to let anyone in this house. That's a promise?
Well,
Oh, Martha, we can do that now that Mortimer's cooperating with us. Well, all right, Mortimer.
Good. Okay. Do you have some paper? I've got to go to the theater, and there's a man I've got to see.
Here's some stationery. Will this do?
Oh, yeah. Fine. Yeah. It'll save time if I write my review on the way to the theater.
Mortimer didn't seem quite himself today.
Well, that's only natural. I think I know why.
Why?
He's just become engaged to be married. I suppose that always makes a man nervous.
Oh, I'm so happy for Elaine. And their honeymoon ought to give Mortimer a real vacation. I don't think he rests much this summer.
Well, at least he didn't go kicking off to China or Spain.
Well, I never could understand why he wanted to go to those places.
Well, I think to Mortimer, the theaters always seem pretty small potatoes. He needs something big to criticize. Something like the human race.
Oh, Abby, if Mortimer is coming for Mr. Hopkins' funeral, we'll need another hymnal. There's one in my room.
You know, dear, it's really my turn to read the services. But since you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins came, I want you to do it.
Oh, that's very nice of you, dear. But are you sure you want me to?
It's only fair.
Well, then, I think I'll wear my black bombazine and Mother's old brooch.
Did I hear a car pull up?
It's two men, and I've never seen them before.
Are you sure?
There's a car parked at the curb. They must have come in that.
Let me look.
You recognize them?
They're strangers to me.
Well, then we'll just have to pretend we're not at home.
Come in, Doctor. This is the home of my youth. As a boy, I couldn't wait to escape from this place. Now I'm glad to be escaping back into it.
Yeah, Johnny, it's a fine hideout.
The family still lives here. There's something unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. I hope the fatted calf awaits the return of the prodigal.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Look, Johnny, drinks.
As if we were expected. A good omen.
Who are you? What do you want?
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, it's Jonathan.
You get out of here.
I'm Jonathan, your nephew, Jonathan.
Oh, no, you're not. You're nothing like Jonathan. Don't pretend you are. You just get out of here.
But I am Jonathan. This is Dr. Einstein.
He's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Herman Einstein.
Who are you? You're not our nephew, Jonathan.
Aunt Abby, I see you're wearing that lovely garnet ring that Grandma Brewster bought in England. And Aunt Martha, still hiding the scar where Grandfather's acid burned you.
His voice is like Jonathan's.
Have you been in an accident?
No, my face. That's Dr. Einstein's doing. He's a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
But I've seen that face before. Oh, Abby, remember when we took the little Schultz boy to the movies and I was so frightened? It was that face.
Oh, easy, Johnny, easy. Don't worry, ladies. In the last 5 years, I give Johnny 3 new faces. I give him another one right away. This last one, I saw that picture too just before I operate. I was intoxicated.
You see, Doctor? You see what you've done to me? Even my own family doesn't.
Johnny, you're home in this lovely house. How often he tells me about Brooklyn, about this house, about the aunts he loves so much. They know you, Johnny. Tell Jonathan you know him. Speak to him. Tell him so.
Well, Jonathan, it's been a long time. What have you been doing all these years?
Yes, Jonathan, where have you been?
No, London, South Africa, Australia. The last 5 years in Chicago, Dr. Einstein and I were in business there together.
Oh, we were in Chicago for the World's Fair.
Yes, we found Chicago awfully warm.
Yeah, it got hot there for us, too.
But it's lovely to be in Brooklyn again. And you, Abby, Martha, you don't look a day older. You're just as I remember you. Sweet, charming, hospitable. And dear Teddy, did he ever get into politics? My youngest brother, Doctor, he was determined to be president.
Oh, Teddy's fine. Just fine. And Mortimer's well, too.
I know about Mortimer. I've seen his picture at the head of his column. He's evidently fulfilled all the promise of his early nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Jonathan, it was nice to have seen you again.
Well, bless you, Aunt Martha. It's good to be home again.
Well, Martha, we mustn't let what's on the stove boil over.
Oh, no. Well, if you'll excuse us a minute, Jonathan, unless you're in a hurry to go somewhere.
Well, where do we go from here? We gotta think quick. The police have pictures of that face already. I gotta operate on you right away. We gotta find a place to do that, and we gotta find a place for Mr. Spinazzo too.
Oh, don't waste any worry on that raft.
Johnny, we got a hot stiff on our hands.
Forget Mr. Spinazzo.
You can't keep a body in the rumble seat. Oh, what'd you have to kill him for, Johnny? He was such a nice fella. He gives us a lift, and what happens?
He said I looked like Boris Karloff. That's your work, Doctor. You did this to me.
We find a place somewhere. I fix you up quick.
You better tonight.
No, not tonight. I gotta eat first. I'm hungry. I'm weak.
Jonathan, we're glad that you remembered us and took the trouble to stop in and say hello. But you were never happy in this house. And we were never happy while you were in it. So we just came in to say goodbye.
Aunt Abby, your feeling toward me comes as no surprise. I spent a great many hours regretting all the many heartaches I must have caused you as a boy.
You were quite a trial to us, Jonathan.
But my greatest regret is for Dr. Einstein. I promised him that no matter how rushed we were in coming through Brooklyn, I would take the time to bring him here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked meals.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid there wouldn't be enough.
Oh, Abby, it's a pretty good sized pot roast.
Pot roast?
Oh, I think the liquid can use it.
Oh, thank you, Aunt Martha. We'll stay for dinner.
Well, we'll hurry it along.
Yes.
Oh, Jonathan, if you wish to freshen up, why don't you use the washroom in Grandfather's old laboratory?
Is that still there?
Oh, yes, just as he left it. Well, I'll help Martha get things started since we're all in a hurry.
Well, we get a meal anyway.
Grandfather's laboratory. And just as it was, Doctor, a perfect operating room.
Oh, too bad. We can't use it.
When you're done with me, we could make a fortune in this house. Why, that laboratory, the large ward upstairs, 10 beds, Doctor, and Brooklyn is crying for your talent.
Oh, too bad we can't use it.
You don't know this town, Doctor. Practically everybody in Brooklyn needs a new face.
Yeah, but so many of those old faces are locked up.
Oh, a small percentage. And the boys in Brooklyn are famous for paying generously to stay out of jail.
Take it easy, Johnny. Your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but after dinner?
Leave it to me, Doctor. I'll handle everything. This house will be our headquarters for years.
Oh, that would be beautiful. This nice, quiet house. Oh, yeah. It all comes true like a beautiful dream.
Doctor, my aunts, they're so lovely. It is a beautiful dream. I love this house.
I hope I'm not dreaming. It's so peaceful.
That's what makes this house so perfect for us. It's so peaceful. Yes, Andy. Those 5 years in Chicago were among the busiest and the happiest of my life.
And from Chicago, we go to South Bend, Indiana.
I don't think they want to hear about our experience in Indiana.
Now, Jonathan, you've led a very interesting life, I'm sure. But we really shouldn't have allowed you to talk so late.
My meeting Dr. Einstein in London, I must say, changed the whole course of my life. You may remember I was in South Africa in the diamond business. Well, then I went to Amsterdam, the diamond market. I wanted to go back to South Africa, and Dr. Einstein made that possible for me.
And a good job. When they take off the bandages, he looks so different, the nurse had to introduce me.
I love that face. You know, I still carry a picture of it around with me.
This looks more the way you used to look. But still, I wouldn't know you.
I think we'll go back to this face, Doctor.
Yeah, it's safe now.
Well, I know you both want to go to where
I
you're going.
am so full of that delicious meal, my dear aunties, that I am unable to move a muscle.
Yeah, it's nice here.
Well, after all, it's very late, and I'm trying
I found it! I found it!
What did you find, Eddie?
The story of my life, my biography. Here's the picture I was telling you about, General. Here we are, both of us, President Roosevelt and General Goethals at Culebra Cut. That's me, General, and that's you.
My, how I've changed.
Well, you see, that picture hasn't been taken yet. We haven't even started work yet on Culebra Cut. We're still digging locks. And now, General, we will both go down to Panama and inspect the new lock.
No, Teddy, not to Panama.
Yeah, we go some other time. Panama's a long way off.
Nonsense, it's just down in the cellar.
The cellar?
Well, we let Teddy dig the Panama Canal in the cellar.
General Goethals, as President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand that you follow me on the inspection of this new lock.
Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon. Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Go to bed.
No, you are not Wilson. But your face is familiar to me. You're not anyone I know now. Perhaps later. On my hunting trip to Africa. Yes. You look like someone I might meet in the jungle.
It's your brother Jonathan, dear.
He's had his face changed.
So that's it. A nature faker.
And perhaps you had better go to bed, Teddy. Jonathan and his friend had to go back to the hotel.
General Goethals, inspect that canal.
All right, Mr. President, we go to Panama.
Bully! Follow me, General. Oh, it's down south, you know.
Well, bon voyage.
And Abby, I must correct a misapprehension of yours. You spoke of a hotel. We have no hotel. We came directly here.
Oh, there's a nice little hotel about 3 blocks down the road.
And Martha, this is my home.
Well, Jonathan, you can't stay here. We need our rooms.
You need them?
Yes, for our lodgers.
There are lodgers here in this house?
Well, not now, but we plan to have some.
Then my room is still free.
But Jonathan, there's no place for Dr. Einstein.
You can stay in the room with me.
Oh, sorry, Jonathan, you can't stay here.
Dr. Einstein and I need a place to sleep. Now, you remembered this afternoon, as a boy, I could be very disagreeable. Well, it wouldn't be very pleasant for any of us if you...
Or perhaps we ought to let them stay here tonight.
Well, just for tonight, Jonathan.
Then it's settled. Now, if you'll get my room ready.
Well, it only needs airing out.
Yes, we keep it ready to show our lodgers. I think you and Dr. Einstein will find it comfortable.
You have a most distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. I'm afraid you don't appreciate his skill. You will, though. In a few weeks, you're going to see a very different-looking Jonathan.
Oh, he can't operate on you here.
Well, when Dr. Einstein and I get organized, when we resume our practice... Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're turning Grandfather's laboratory into an operating room. We expect to be very busy.
Jonathan, we will not let you turn this house into a hospital.
A hospital? No. It will be a beauty parlor.
Johnny, down in the cellar.
Doctor, my dear aunts have invited us to live with them.
Oh, you fixed it.
Well, will you be sleeping here tonight?
Please get our room ready immediately.
Well,
For tonight.
Johnny, down in the cellar. What do you think I find?
What?
The Panama Canal.
Oh, the Panama Canal.
No, it fit Mr. Spinalzo just right. It's a hole. Teddy dug it. It's 6 feet long and 4 feet wide.
Down there?
They must have known we were bringing Mr. Spinalzo along. That's hospitality.
Rather a good joke on the ants. They're living upstairs with a body buried down in the cellar.
How do we get him in?
No, you're right. We can't just walk them through the door. We'll bring the car in between the cemetery and the house. Then, when everyone's gone to bed, we'll bring Spinalzo in through the window.
Bed. Just think, we got a bed tonight.
Easy with that, doctor. Remember, you're operating on me tomorrow. And this time you better be sober.
I fix you up beautiful.
And if you don't...
Jonathan, your room is ready.
Good, and you two can go on to bed. We're moving the car in off the street.
oh, the car is all right where it is until morning.
We wouldn't want to leave it on the street. That might be against the law.
Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, we're not going to let them stay more than one night in this house for one thing. What would the neighbors think? People coming in here with one face, going out with another.
What are we going to do with Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, poor Mr. Hoskins. It can't be very comfortable for him in there. Been so patient, the poor dear. Well, I think Teddy had better get Mr. Hoskins downstairs right away.
Abby, I will not invite Jonathan to the services.
Oh no, we'll wait till they go to bed and then come down and hold the services.
General Goethals was very pleased. He says the canal is just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me, this will be a great shock to the general.
Oh, we mustn't tell him, dear.
But it's his department.
We mustn't tell him, Teddy. It would just spoil his visit.
I am very sorry, Aunt Abby. It's out of my hands. He'll have to be told. Army regulations, you know.
No, Teddy, we must keep it a secret.
Yes.
A state secret?
Yes, a state secret.
Promise.
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now, let me see. How are we going to keep it a secret?
Well, Teddy, you go back down the cellar, and when I turn out the light, when it's all dark, you come up and take the poor man down to the canal. Now go along, Teddy.
And we'll come down later and hold the services.
You may announce that the President will say a few words. Where is the poor devil?
Oh, he's in the window seat.
It seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
Martha, when Jonathan and Dr. Einstein get back, I think we should try to get them to go to bed right away.
That way, when they're asleep, we'll be dressed for the funeral. Oh, Abby, I haven't even seen Mr. Hoskins.
Oh my goodness, that's right. You were out. Will you come right over and see him now?
Yes.
He's really very nice looking, considering he's a Methodist.
We're bringing the luggage in through here.
Jonathan, your room's waiting for you. You can go right up.
I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours. But you two run along to bed.
Now you must be very tired, both of you. And we don't go to bed this early.
Well, you should. It's time I came home and took care of you.
Well, we weren't planning to go to bed this early. I mean...
And Martha, did you hear me say run along to bed? Doctor, this is going to go to the laboratory in the morning. Now, let's all go to bed.
I'll wait till you're up, then turn out the lights.
Next slide up, Doctor. And Martha, run along. All right, Aunt Abby.
I'll be right up.
Now, Aunt Abby, turn out the light.
All right, Shawnee.
I'll open the window. You go outside and hand him through.
No, you go outside. He's too heavy for me. You go outside and push. I'll stay here and pull together. We'll get him to Panama.
All right, I'll take a look around outside the house. When I tap on the window, open it up.
Ah! We left this open, dumb cough. All right, Johnny. Alley-oop. Wait a minute. You lost your leg somewhere. Okay, I got it. All right. Ah, it's you. Oh, that was me, Johnny. I slipped.
Be more careful.
Well, his shoe came off. All right, wait, I got him. All right. Johnny, someone at the door, go quick. I manage here. Go quick.
Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Miss Abby? Miss Martha? Who is it? Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
What are you doing here?
I came to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Turn on the light, Doctor. You chose a rather untimely moment for a social call.
I think you better explain what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm in this house every day and I've never seen you before. Where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done to them?
Perhaps we'd better introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein,
Dr. Einstein?
a surgeon of great distinction. Something of a magician.
And I suppose you're going to tell me you're Boris.
I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan.
I see you've heard of me.
Yes, just today for the first time.
What did they say about me?
Only that there was another brother named Jonathan. That's all that was said. Well, that explains everything. Now that I know who you are, I'll be running along home. If you will kindly unlock the door.
That explains everything. Just what did you mean by that? And why do you come here at this time of night?
I thought I saw someone prowling around the house. I suppose it was you.
You thought you saw someone prowling around the house.
Yes, weren't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You saw someone at the car?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Just someone coming around the house to the car. That's
What
all.
else did you
Just
see?
that. That's all. That's why I came over here. I wanted to tell Miss Abby to call the police. But if that was you and that's your car, I don't need to bother Miss Abby and I'll be running along home.
What was the man doing at the car?
I don't know. You see, I was on my way over
I
here.
think you're lying.
Well, I think she's telling the truth, Johnny. We let her go, huh?
I think she's lying. Breaking into a house at this time of night? I think she's dangerous. She shouldn't be let around loose.
Take your hands off me!
The
It's
door,
going to be
Doctor.
a private funeral.
Teddy, tell these men who I am.
That's my daughter, Alice!
Doctor, your handkerchief. The cellar.
What's the matter?
What's going on down there?
What's the matter? What are you doing?
We caught a burglar, a sneak thief. Now go back to your room.
Who called the police?
We've already called the police. We'll handle it. Now go back to your room.
Mortimer! Mortimer, where have you been?
To the Nora Bay's Theater. I should have known better. Oh my, I'm still there.
It's your brother Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is it?
I've come back home, Mortimer.
Who did you say this was?
It's your brother Jonathan. He's had his face changed. Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
Jonathan. Jonathan, you always were a hard. You have to look like one.
Easy, Johnny, easy.
Have you forgotten what I used to do to you when we were boys? Remember being tied to the bedpost?
It is Jonathan. Oh yes, Jonathan, I remember you. I remember you as the cruelest, vicious, venomous form of animal life I ever knew.
Now, don't you two boys start quarreling again the minute you've seen each other.
Oh, there won't be any fight, Aunt Abby. Jonathan, you're not wanted here. Get out.
Dr. Einstein and I have been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Just for tonight.
I don't want him anywhere near me.
But we did invite them for tonight, and it wouldn't be very nice to go back on our word.
All right, tonight. But first thing in the morning, out. Where are they sleeping?
Oh, we put them in Jonathan's old room.
That's my room. I'm sleeping in that room. I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, I'm so glad.
We'll sleep down here, Johnny.
You bet your life you'll sleep down
You
here.
sleep on the sofa, I'll sleep on the window seat.
The window seat? Oh, no. Let's not argue about this. This window seat's good enough for me. I'll sleep on the window seat.
You know, Johnny, all this argument makes me think about Mr. Spinazzo.
And also, Mortimer, it really isn't necessary to inconvenience you like this. We'll sleep down here tonight.
Jonathan, your sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
Come along, Johnny. We get our things from the room.
I don't bother, Doctor.
By the way, Doctor, I've completely lost track of Mr. Spinalzo.
Who is this Mr. Spinalzo?
Oh, he's just a friend of ours. Johnny's been looking for.
Well, don't bring anyone else in here.
It's all right, Johnny. While we pack, I tell you all about it.
Mortimer, you won't have to sleep down here. I can go in with Martha and you can take my room.
No trouble at all, Aunt Abby. We'll be packed in a few minutes, and Jonathan, you can have your room back.
I've already told you you're wasting your time. I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer,
What's the matter, dear?
I've almost been killed.
You've almost been... Abby, Martha!
No, it was Jonathan.
He mistook her for a sneak thief.
No, it was more than that. He's some kind of a maniac. Mortimer, I'm afraid of him.
Oh, darling, you're trembling. Oh, come here. Do you have any smelling salts?
No, but if you think some hot tea or coffee would do.
Coffee. Oh, and make some for me, too. Oh, and some sandwiches. I haven't had any dinner.
We'll make something for both of you.
Martha, we can leave our things downstairs here now.
Were you going somewhere? I mean, do you know how late it is? It must be at least after 12. 12? Elaine, you've got to go home.
What?
Well, you wanted some sandwiches for you both. It won't be a minute.
Why don't you remember? We wanted to celebrate your engagement. Yes, that's what we'll do. We'll make a nice supper for both of you. And we'll open a bottle of wine.
All right. No wine!
Mortimer, what is going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
You were supposed to take me to dinner in the theater tonight. You called it off. You asked me to marry you. I said I would, and 5 minutes later, you threw me out of the house. Tonight, just after your brother tries to strangle me, you want to chase me home. Now listen, Mr. Brewster. Before I go home, I want to know where I stand. Do you love me?
I love you very much, Elaine. In fact, I love you so much, that's why I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
I don't think so, but it's just a matter of time. You see, insanity runs in my family. It practically gallops. That's why I can't marry you, dear.
Oh, wait a minute. You're going to have to do better than that.
No. I mean, if you really understood my family, well, it's what you'd expect if Alfred Hitchcock wrote for the Marx Brothers.
Just because Teddy is a little
No. It goes way before that. The first Brewster, the one that came over on the Mayflower. You know, in those days, the Indians used to scalp the settlers. He used to scalp the Indians.
Oh, Mortimer, that's ancient history.
Oh, and then take my grandfather. He used to try out his patent medicines on dead people to be sure he wouldn't kill them.
He wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And there's Jonathan. You just said he was a maniac. He tried to kill you.
But he's your brother, not you. I'm in love with you.
And there's Teddy. You know Teddy. He thinks he's Roosevelt. Oh, no, dear. No Brewster should ever marry. I realize now that if I'd met my father in time, I would have stopped him.
Now, darling, all this doesn't prove you're crazy. Take your aunts, for example. They're Brewsters, aren't they? And the sanest, sweetest people I've ever known.
Well, even they have their peculiarities.
Oh, well, what lovely peculiarities. Kindness, generosity, human sympathy.
There's another one!
Oh, Mortimer, there are lots of others. You can't tell me anything about your aunts.
And I'm not going to. Elaine, you've got to go home. Something's come up.
Up from where? We're alone here together.
I know I'm acting irrationally, but just put it in the fact that I'm a mad Brewster.
Now, if you think you're going to get out of this by pretending you're insane, you're crazy. Maybe you're not going to marry me, but I'm going to marry you. I love you, you dope.
Well, if you love me, you'll get out of here.
Well, at least take me home, won't you? I'm afraid.
Afraid of a little walk through a cemetery?
Mortimer,
Yes, dear.
will you at least kiss me goodnight?
Of course, dear. Goodbye, dear. I'll call you up in a day or two.
You critic!
Abby and Martha, come in here.
We'll be
in here now.
Yes, dear, what is it? Where's Elaine?
I thought you promised me you weren't not going to let anyone else in this room while I was gone.
Oh, Jonathan just walked
I
in.
don't mean Jonathan.
Dr. Einstein was with us.
I don't mean Dr. Einstein. Who is that in the window seat?
We told you, Mr. Hoskins.
It is not Mr. Hoskins.
Who can that be?
Are you trying to tell me that you've never seen this man before?
I certainly am. Why, this is a fine how do you do. It's getting so anybody thinks they can walk into this house.
Oh, Aunt Abby, don't try to get out of this. That's another one of your gentlemen.
Mortimer, how could you say such a thing? That man's an imposter. And if he came here to be buried in our cellar, he's mistaken.
Oh, Aunt Abby, you admitted to me that you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
Yes, I did.
Well, this guy couldn't have just gotten the idea from Mr. Hoskins. By the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
He must have gone to Panama.
Oh, buried him?
No, not yet. He's just down there waiting for the services, poor dear. Well, we haven't had a minute, what with Jonathan in the house. Oh, dear, we always wanted to hold a double funeral. But I will not read services over a total stranger.
Oh, a total stranger. Aunt Abby, how can I believe you? There are 12 men in your cellar, and you admitted that you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But you don't think I'd stoop to telling a fib. Martha!
Mortimer, I want a word with you.
A word's about all you have time for, Jonathan, because I've decided that you and your doctor friend have to get out of here as quickly as possible.
I'm glad you recognize the fact that you and I cannot live under the same roof. But you've arrived at the wrong solution. Take your suitcase and get out.
Jonathan, you're beginning to bore me. You played your one-night stand in Brooklyn, now get out.
My dear brother, just because you graduated from writing on the back fence to using a typewriter does not mean you've grown up. I'm staying and you're going, and I mean now.
If you think I can be frightened, if you think there's anything I fear...
I've lived a very strange life, Mortimer. And it's taught me one thing, to be afraid of nothing.
Martha, just look and see what's in that window.
Now, Aunt Abby. Jonathan, let Aunt Martha see what's in the window seat. Ladies, Aunt Abby, I owe you an apology. And ladies, I have some very, very good news for you. Jonathan is leaving, and he's taking Dr. Einstein and their cold companion with him. Jonathan, you're my brother. You're a Brewster. I'm going to give you a chance to get out of here and take your evidence with you. You can't ask for more than that. All right. In that case, I'll telephone the police.
Don't touch that telephone! Are you still giving me orders after having seen what happened to Mr. Spinozzo?
Spinozzo?
I knew he was a foreigner.
Don't forget, what happened to Spinozzo can happen to you too. Hello, Miss Brewster.
Officer O'Hara, is there something we can do for you?
I saw the lights were on. I thought there might be sickness in the house. Oh, you got company. I'm sorry I disturbed you.
Oh, no. Come on in.
Yes, come in.
Come right in, Officer O'Hara. This is our nephew, Mortimer.
Ah, pleased to meet you.
And this is another nephew, Jonathan.
Ah, pleased to make your acquaintance. That must be nice having your nephews visiting with you. Are they going to stay around a bit?
I'm staying. My brother Jonathan was just leaving.
Oh. Say, have I met you here before?
Oh, I'm afraid not. Jonathan has been home for years.
Your face looks familiar to me. Maybe I've seen a picture of you somewhere.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, Jonathan, I'd hurry if I were you. Your things are all packed anyway, aren't they?
Well, you'll be wanting to say your goodbyes. I'll be running along now.
No. What's the rush? I'd like for you to stick around until my brother leaves.
Oh, I just dropped in to make sure everything was all right.
Oh, but we're about to have some coffee. Why don't you join us?
No, I'm due to ring in a few
Forgot the
minutes.
coffee.
Oh, and I better make more sandwiches for you, Miss Officer O'Hara. I ought to know your appetite by now.
No, don't bother. I'm due to ring in.
No, just have a seat. Certainly you Here, sit down.
Oh, say, have I seen a photograph of your brother?
I don't think so.
He sure reminds me of somebody.
Probably someone you've seen in the movies.
No, I don't go to the movies. I hate them. My mother says they're bastardized.
It's full of them. Oh, your mother says that?
Yeah, she was an actress, a stage actress. Maybe you heard of her. Peaches Latour?
It sounds like a name I should have read in a program. What did she play?
Well, her big hit was Mutt and Jeff. Played it for 3 years. I was born on tour the 3rd season.
You were?
Yeah, Sioux City, Iowa. I was born in the dressing room at the end of the 2nd act, and Butter made the finale.
What a trooper. There must be a story in your mother. You know, I write about the theater.
You do? Say, you're not Mortimer Brewster, the drama critic.
Yes.
Wow, am I glad to meet you. You know, Mr. Brewster, you and I, we in the same line of business.
We are?
Yeah, I'm a playwright. Oh, this being on the police force, that's just temporary.
How long have you been on the force?
12 years. I've been collecting material for a play.
Oh, I bet it's a honey.
Well, it ought to be all the drama I see being a cop. Mr. Brewster, you got no idea what goes on here in Brooklyn.
Oh, I think I have.
Now, what time you got?
10 after 1.
Oh, jeez, I gotta get going.
No. Hold on, O'Hara. You know, about that play of yours, you know, I may be able to help you.
You would? Huh, say, it was fate me walking in here tonight. Listen, I'll tell you the plot.
Oh, Jonathan, you're leaving. Good. You don't have much time, you know.
Everything's just about ready. Oh, you leaving, Jonathan? Goodbye. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein. Oh, does this case belong to you?
Yes, Jonathan. You can't go without taking all your things. Look, O'Hara, it was nice meeting you. We'll talk about your play later.
No, I'm not leaving now.
Why not?
Well, you just offered to help me write my play. You and I were gonna write my play together.
Oh, O'Hara, I can't do that. I'm not a creative writer.
I'll do the creating. You just put the words to it.
Oh, but O'Hara.
Oh, no. I ain't leaving this house till I tell you the plot.
In that case, Mortimer, we'll be running along.
Oh, don't you try that. You can't go yet. You have to take everything with you. Now, look, O'Hara, you run along now. My brother was just leaving.
I can wait. I've been waiting 12 years.
Oh, I'm sorry I was so long.
Don't bring that in here. O'Hara, why don't you join us for a bite in the kitchen?
The kitchen?
Jonathan's leaving.
Well, that's nice. Come along, Officer O'Hara.
You sure you don't mind eating in the kitchen, Mr. O'Hara?
Where else would you eat?
Goodbye, Jonathan. Nice to have seen you again.
I'm glad you came back to Brooklyn, Jonathan, because it gives me a chance to throw you out. And the first one out is your boyfriend, Mr. Spinalzo.
Hey, look, Mr. Brewster. We can talk in the kitchen.
I know, come right in.
I might have known you'd grow up to write a play with a policeman.
Now get going, all 3 of you.
This affair with my brother has got to be settled.
Now, Johnny, we got troubles enough. Please.
You don't understand. This goes back a good many years.
Now, let's get going, huh?
We're not going. We're sleeping right here.
With a cop in the kitchen and Mr. Spinazzo in the window seat?
That's all he's got on us. We'll take Mr. Spinalzo down and dump him in the bay. We'll come right back here, and then if he interferes...
Now, Johnny.
Doc, you know what I made up my mind.
Yeah, when you make up your mind, you lose your head. Oh, Brooklyn ain't good for you.
Doctor?
Okay, we stick together, but someday we get stuck together. But if we gotta come back here, do we have to take these with us?
No. Leave those. Take this. Hide it in the cellar. Move fast. Spinalzo can go out the same way he came in.
Hey, Johnny, come quick.
What?
You know the hole we get in the cellar?
Yes?
We get an ace in the hole. Come see.
Jonathan!
I thought I told you to get out of here.
We're not going.
Oh, you're not, are you? You think I'm not serious? You want me to tell O'Hara what's in the window seat?
We're staying.
All right, good. Let's get rid of you and O'Hara at the same time. Oh, Officer O'Hara, will you come in here, please?
You tell O'Hara was in the window seat. I'll tell him what's down in the cellar.
The cellar?
Yes, there's an elderly gentleman down there who seems to be rather dead.
What were you doing in the cellar?
What's he doing in the cellar?
Oh, no thanks, ma'am. I've had plenty. They were fine.
Now what are you going to tell O'Hara?
Hey, look, Mr. Brewster, your aunts want to hear it too. Should I get them in here?
No, not now, O'Hara. You have to go ring in.
Oh, the heck with bringing in. Let me get your aunts out here. I'll tell you the plot.
No, not with all these people. You run along, go ring in, and we'll meet someplace later.
Okay, what about the back room at Kelly's?
Fine. You run along, go ring in, I'll meet you at Kelly's.
Why don't you get together down in the cellar?
That's all right with me. Where's the cellar?
No. You go ring in, and I'll meet you at Kelly's.
Oh, okay. That'll just take me a minute.
All right. I'll ditch this guy and be back in 5 minutes. I expect you to be gone. Wait for me.
Oh, we'll wait for him, Doctor. I've waited a good many years for a chance like this.
We got him right where we want him. Boy, did he look guilty.
Take the bag back up to the room, Doctor.
Have they gone yet? Oh, we thought we heard somebody leave.
It was Mortimer. He'll be back in a few minutes. Is there any more food in the kitchen? Dr. Einstein and I would enjoy a bite.
Well, you won't have time.
No, if you're still here when Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
Oh, he'll like it. He's got to like it.
Now, please get us some more food while we bury Mr. Spinalzo in the cellar.
Oh, no.
Like, cellar? Now, Jonathan, you've got to take him with you.
Why, there's a friend of Mortimer's down there waiting for him.
Friend of Mortimer's?
Yes, he and Mr. Spinalzo will get along fine together. You see, they're both dead.
Oh, he must mean Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins?
You know what's down in the cellar.
Well, of course we do, and he's no friend of Mortimer's. He's one of our gentlemen.
Your gentleman?
And we won't have a stranger buried in our cellar.
But Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins isn't a stranger.
Besides, there is no room for Mr. Spinalzo. Cellar's crowded already.
Crowded? With what?
Well, there are 12 graves down there now.
Oh, great!
That leaves very little room, and we're going to need it.
You mean you two have murdered?
Murdered? Certainly not. It's one of our salaries.
Well, what we've been doing is a mercy.
And you just take your Mr. Spinalzo out of here.
You mean you two have done that? Here? In this house? And buried them down there?
Johnny, we've been chased all over the world. They stay right here in Brooklyn and do just as good as you.
What?
You got 12 and they got 12.
I've got 13.
No, Johnny, 12.
13. Spinalzo. The first one in London. Those two in Johannesburg. One in Sydney. One in Melbourne. Two in San Francisco. One in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix?
The filling station.
Yeah.
3 in Chicago. And 1 in South Bend. 13.
No, Johnny, the one don't count in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
He wouldn't have died of pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
No, Johnny. He died of pneumonia. He doesn't count.
He counts with me. I say 13.
No, you have 12 and they have 12. Just think the old ladies are just as good as you.
Well, they are they? Well, that's easily fixed. All I need is one more, that's all. Just one more.
Well, here I am.
You stop doing that.
This is our house, and this is our cellar, and you can't do that.
Ladies, please go back upstairs where you belong.
Abby, Martha, go upstairs.
There's no use you're doing what you're doing because it'll just have to be undone.
I tell you, we won't have it, and you better stop it right now.
All right, you'll find out. You'll find out whose house this is.
I'm telling you, you better stop doing that. come back yet?
No.
It's a terrible thing to do, to bury a good Methodist with a foreigner.
I won't have our cellar desecrated.
And we promised Mr. Hoskins a full Christian funeral. Where do you suppose Mortimer went?
Well, I don't know, but he must be doing something because he told Jonathan, you just wait, I'll settle this.
We can't very well settle it while he's out of the house. That's all we want settled. What's going on down there?
All right, where's Teddy?
Mortimer, where have you been?
I went to go see Dr. Gilchrist. I got his signature on Teddy's commitment papers.
Mortimer, what's the matter with you?
Running around getting signatures at a time like this.
Do you know what Jonathan is doing?
He's putting Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinazzo in together.
Oh, he is he? Well, let him. Is Teddy in his room?
Oh, Teddy won't be any help.
When I get his signature on these commitment papers, I can tackle Jonathan.
What have they got to do with it?
You had to go and tell Jonathan about those 12 graves. If I can make Teddy responsible for those, I can protect you, don't you see?
No, I don't see. And we pay taxes to have the police protect us.
I'll be back down in a minute.
Now, Martha, we're going for the police.
All right. The police? No, I can't let you go to the police.
Why can't we?
Because if you tell the police about Mr. Spinalzo, they'll find out about Mr. Hoskins. Then that might make them curious, and they'll find out about your other 12 gentlemen.
Mortimer, we know the police better than you do. I don't think they pry into our personal private affairs if we ask them not to.
But if they found out about your 12 gentlemen, they'd have to report to headquarters.
Well, I'm not so sure they'd bother. Why, they would have to make a very long report. And if there's one thing a policeman hates to do, it's to write.
You can't depend on that. It might leak out. And you couldn't expect a judge and jury to understand.
Oh, Judge Coleman would.
We know him very well.
He always comes to church to pray just before elections.
And he's coming here to tea someday. He promised.
Oh, Abby, we must speak to him again about that. Oh, his wife died a few years ago and it left him so very lonely.
Oh, come on, Martha.
No! I won't let you do this. You can't leave this house. And you can't have Judge Coleman over for tea.
Oh,
well, if you're not going to do something about Mr. Spinazzo, we are.
I am going to do something. We might have to call the police, but when we do, I want to be ready for them.
you have to get Jonathan out of this house.
And Mr. Spinazzo, too.
Will you please let me handle this my own way? Now, I've got to go see Teddy.
They're not out of here by morning, Mortimer. We're going to call the police.
They'll be out, I promise you. Now, go to bed, will you? And for Pete's sake, get out of those clothes. You look like Morticia Adams.
Well, that's a relief, isn't it, Abby?
Yes. Well, if Mortimer's really going to do something at last, it just means that Jonathan's going through a lot of unnecessary trouble. We better tell him. Oh, Jonathan, you might as well stop what you're doing.
It's already done. Did I hear Mortimer?
Well, it'll just have to be undone. You're all going to be out of this house by morning. Mortimer promised.
Oh, are we? Well, then you and Aunt Martha can go to bed and have a pleasant night's sleep.
Oh, yes, come, Abby.
Good night, Auntie.
Not good night, Jonathan. Goodbye. By the time we get up, you'll be out of this house. Mortimer promised.
And he has a way of doing it, too.
Then Mortimer's here.
Oh, yes, he's up here talking to Teddy.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
Perhaps you'd better say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, you'll see Mortimer.
Yes. I'll see Mortimer.
Phew, that's all fixed up. Smooth like a lake. Nobody ever know we were down there. Oh, that bed feels good already. 48 hours. We haven't slept. Come on, Johnny, let's go upstairs, yes?
You're forgetting, Doctor.
What?
My brother, Mortimer.
Oh, no, we do that tomorrow, the next day.
No, tonight. Now.
No, Johnny, not tonight. Tomorrow, I gotta operate. I'm tired.
Yes, Doctor. You're operating on me tomorrow. But tonight, we take care of Mortimer.
Please, Johnny, we go to bed, huh?
Look at me, Doctor. You can see this is going to be done, can't you?
I can see, I know that look. Okay, but we do it the quick way, like in London, with the quick twist.
I don't think so. I think it's called for something special. The Melbourne method.
Oh, no, Johnny, not that. And when it was over, what? The fellow in London was just as dead as the one in Melbourne.
It was over too quickly in London. There was no aesthetic satisfaction in it. Ah, but Melbourne. That was something to remember.
Remember, yeah, I wish I didn't. Not Melbourne, not me.
Doctor, get your instruments.
No, Johnny, I won't do it. I won't do it.
Where are your instruments?
No, Johnny.
That's right, hid them in the cellar. Where?
No, I won't tell you.
I'll find them myself.
Don't do that, Mr. President.
But I cannot sign any proclamation without consulting my cabinet.
But this must be signed in secret.
A secret proclamation? How unusual.
Japan mustn't know until it's signed.
Japan, those devils! I'll sign it once. You have my word for it. I can consult the cabinet later.
All right, yes, let's go inside.
You wait here. A secret proclamation must be signed in secret.
But at once, Mr. President.
I have to put on my signing clothes.
You go, yeah?
No, Doctor, I'm waiting for something important.
Please, you go now?
Look, Doctor, I have nothing against you personally. You seem like a nice enough fellow. But take my advice and get out of here and get as far away as possible.
Trouble, yeah, you get out quick.
Okay? Don't say I didn't warn you.
No, I'm warning you, please go away.
Things are going to start popping around here any minute.
Oh, Johnny's in a bad mood, and when he's like that, he's a madman. Things happen, terrible things.
Oh, Jonathan doesn't concern me now.
Ah, Hammer! Don't those plays you see teach you anything?
About what?
Well, at least the people in the play act like they got some sense. That's more than I can say for you.
Oh, you think so, do you? You think people in plays act intelligently. I wish you had to sit through some of the plays I've had to sit through. Take this little opus I saw tonight. In this play, there's this man. He's supposed to be intelligent. He's in a house full of murderers, and he knows this. He ought to know he's in danger. He's even been warned to get out of the house. But does he go? No. Now I ask you, Doctor, is that what an intelligent person would do?
You're asking me.
He didn't even have enough sense to be frightened, to be on guard. For instance, the murderer invites him to sit down.
You mean, won't you sit down?
Believe it or not, that was in here too.
And what did he do?
He sat down. Here's this fellow who's supposed to be intelligent. And what did they use to tie him up with?
What?
The curtain cord.
Oh, that's right, good idea. Very convenient.
A little too convenient. I mean, when a playwright's going to use some imagination? The curtain cord.
They didn't see him get it?
See him? He sat right there with his back to him. That's the kind of stuff we have to suffer through night after night. Oh, and they say the critics are killing the theater. Oh, it's the playwrights who are killing the theater. So there he sits, the big dope, just waiting to be trussed up and gagged. What?
Get his life.
You're right about the fellow in the play. He wasn't too bright.
Now, Mortimer, my dear brother, if you don't mind, we'll finish the story. I've been away for a very long time, Mortimer. 20 years. And in all that time, never once were you out of my mind. But once, in Melbourne, I dreamed of you. When I arrived in San Francisco, a strange satisfaction came over me. Once more, I was in the same country as you. Now, Doctor.
Please, Johnny, the quick way.
Doctor!
Now, Johnny.
This must be a really artistic achievement. We're performing before a very distinguished critic.
All right, let's get it over.
All right, Doctor, I'm ready for you.
Oh, I gotta have a drink first. I can't do this without a drink.
Oh, Doctor, pull yourself together.
No, I gotta have a drink. Now, there's some wine when we come here this afternoon, remember? Where did they put it? Oh, here it is, look. Oh, Johnny, look, there's not much. I'll split it with you. Oh, there you go. There, we both need a drink.
One moment, Doctor. Where are your manners? Yes, Mortimer, I realize now. It was you who brought me to Brooklyn. To my dear dead brother. That idiot! He goes next, that's all. He goes next.
No, not Teddy. That's where I stop. Not Teddy.
We'll get to Teddy later.
We don't get to him at
Oh,
all.
now we gotta hurry.
Okay, but the quick way.
Yes, Doctor, the quick way. Hey!
The colonel's gotta quit blowing that horn.
Oh, we'll take the trumpet and bugle away from him, officer. It's under control.
There's gonna be the devil to pay in the morning. We promised the neighbors you wouldn't do that anymore.
It'll never happen again. Good night, officer.
I better talk to him. Where are the lights? You stood me up. I waited for Kelly's for an hour for you.
What happened to him? He was telling us about the fellow that was in the play tonight. That's what happened to him.
That was in the play you saw tonight? They practically stole that from the second act of my play. Why, in the second act of my play, right be- Wait a minute, let me start at the beginning. It opens in my mother's dressing room, where I was born. Only I ain't born yet. Oh no, you're gonna listen to the plot. There she was, sitting at her table, putting on her makeup. When in through the door comes a man with a black mustache. He turns to her and he says, "Miss Latour, will you marry me?" Only he don't know she's pregnant. There she was, laying unconscious across the table in her lingerie. The killer was standing over her with a hatchet. I was tied up in a chair like you are. The house was on fire. It was an inferno. And all of a sudden, in through the window comes Mayor LaGuardia. Hey, remember who paid for that? Go easy on it.
Well, I'm listening, ain't I?
Well, how do you like it so far?
Well, put Johnny to sleep.
Nah, leave him be. If he got no more interest in that, he don't get a drink. So anyway, it's 3 days later. I've been transferred and I'm under charges on account of somebody stole my badge. So I'm walking the beat on Staten Island, 46th precinct. When the guy I'm following, turns out he's really following me. Don't let anybody in. So I figure I'll outsmart him. There's a vacant house on the corner. I goes in. Cops! I'm standing there in the dark. I see the door handle turn.
Cops, Johnny, cops!
I pull my gun. I brace myself against the wall and I say, "Come in." Oh, hello, Abe.
What the heck is going on here?
Well, what do you know, Abe? This is Mortimer Brewster. He's going to help me write my play. I was just telling him the story.
Did you have to tie him up to make him listen? Heck, you better report back in at the station. The whole force is out looking for you.
Did they send you here for me?
I didn't know you was here. I came to warn the old ladies that there's going to be heck to pay. The colonel blew the bugle again in the middle of the night. From the way all of the neighbors have been calling in about it, you'd think the Germans had dropped a bomb on Flatbush Avenue. The lieutenant's on the warpath. He's going to have the colonel put away someplace.
Yes, yes. Jeez, Mr. Brewster, I gotta get going. I'll just run through the third act real quick.
Get away from me!
Say, you know what time it is? It's after 8 o'clock in the morning.
See, Mr. Brewster, them first two acts run a little long, but I don't see anything we can leave out.
You can leave it all out!
Who in the heck is this guy?
Oh, that's my brother.
Oh, the one that ran away? So he came back?
Yes, he came back.
This is Klein. Get me Mac. Pat, I better let them know we found you. Mac, tell the lieutenant he can call off the big manhunt. We got him in the Brewster house. You want us to bring him in? Oh, all right, we'll hold him right here. The lieutenant's on his way over.
So I've been turned in. Well, you've got me. I suppose you and that stool pigeon brother of mine are going to share the reward.
Reward?
Well, I'm going to turn somebody else in. You know my aunt, you think of sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? Well, there's 13 bodies buried in their cellar.
Teddy! Teddy! Teddy!
What the heck are you talking about? You better be careful what you're saying about your aunts. They happen to be friends of ours.
I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. You come down to the cellar with me.
Wait a minute.
13 bodies. I'll show you where they're buried.
Oh, yeah.
What, you don't want to come down to the cellar with me?
Hey, go on down the cellar with him.
I don't know if I want to go down in the cellar with him. Look at that puss. He looks like Boris Karloff.
Hey! Get him off me, man! Get him off me!
What do you know about that?
Come in.
What the heck are you guys doing? I told you I'd handle this.
We were just getting ready to.
Oh, what happened? He put up a fight?
This ain't the guy that blows the bugle at night. This is his brother. He tried to kill me. All I said was he looked like Boris Karloff.
Turn him over.
We kind of think he's wanted somewhere.
Oh, you kind of think he's wanted somewhere. If you guys don't read the circulars we hang up at the station, you could at least read True Detective. Of course he's wanted. He escaped from the prison for the criminally insane in Indiana. He's a lifer. For Pete's sake, that's the way they described him. He looked like Karloff.
Was there a reward mentioned?
Yeah, and I'm claiming it.
He was going to take us down in the cellar. He said there were 13 bodies buried down there.
13 bodies in the cellar? And that didn't tip you off he was out of a nut house?
I thought all along he was talking kind of crazy.
Oh, it's Shakespeare. Huh. Where have you been all night? Don't bother to tell me.
I've been right here, sir. Mortimer Brewster's helping me write my play.
Well, you're going to have plenty of time to write that play. When we're finished here, you're suspended. Now help Klein move this guy some other place and bring him to. See what you can find out about his accomplice.
Accomplice?
Yeah. He's the guy that helped him escape. He's wanted too. I tell you, no wonder Brooklyn's in the shape it's in. With a police force full of flatheads like you falling for a story like that. 13 bodies in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Well, who are you?
I'm President Roosevelt.
What the heck is this?
This is the fellow that blows the bugle.
Good morning, Colonel.
Well, Colonel, you've blown your last bugle.
Dear me, another yellow fever victim?
What?
All the bodies in the cellar are yellow fever victims.
No, Colonel, this is a spy we caught in the White House.
When you get this guy out of here?
Now, if there's any questioning of spies to be done, that's my department.
And you keep out of this.
You're forgetting, as president, I'm also head of the Secret Service.
Captain, I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
I'd like to talk to you about my brother Teddy, the one who blew the bugle.
Oh, Mr. Brewster, we're not going to talk about that. He's got to be put away.
Oh, wow, I quite agree with you. In fact, it's all been arranged for. We've had Teddy's commitment papers signed by Dr. Gilchrist, and Teddy signed him himself, you see, and I've signed him as next of kin.
Well, where's he going?
Happy Dale.
All right, I don't care where he goes as long as he goes.
Oh, well, he's going all right, but I want to make sure you realize that everything that's happened here, Teddy's responsible for. Now, as for those 13 bodies.
Oh, yeah, those 13 bodies. It's bad enough the neighbors are afraid of him, and he deserves a piece of that bugle. But can you imagine what would happen if that cockeyed story about 13 bodies in the cellar got around? And now he's starting a yellow fever scare. Oh, cute, isn't it?
13 bodies. You think anybody would believe that story?
Oh, you never know. Some people are just dumb enough. Sometimes you never know what to believe. Last year, this crazy guy started a rumor about a murder over in Greenpoint, and I had to dig up a half-acre lot just to prove that there were no...
Excuse me.
Good morning, Mortimer.
Good morning, dear.
This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's come to meet Teddy.
To meet Teddy.
Mr. Witherspoon's the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, this is Captain...
Lieutenant Rooney. I'm glad you're here, Superintendent, because you're taking him back with you today.
Today?
Oh, not today.
Look, Elaine, I've got some business to attend to. You run along home. I'll call you later.
Nuts.
I had no idea it was this immediate.
Well, the papers are all signed, and he's going today.
Complete insubordination. You men will find out I'm no mollycoddle. When the President of the United States is treated like that, what's this country coming to?
There's your man, Super.
Excuse me. Mr. President, I have some very good news for you. Your term of office is over.
Is this March the 4th?
Practically.
Oh, let me see. Oh, now I go on my hunting trip to Africa. Well, I must get started immediately. Is he trying to move into the White House before I've moved out?
Who, Teddy?
Taft!
Oh, no. This isn't Mr. Taft, Teddy. This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's going to be your guide in Africa.
Bully! 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 I'll bring down my equipment when the safari comes. Tell them to wait. Goodbye, Aunt Abby. Goodbye, Aunt Martha. I'm on my way to Africa. Isn't it wonderful? Charge!
Hello, Andes.
Oh, we have visitors.
Yes, this is Lieutenant Rooney.
How do you do, Lieutenant? My, you don't look like the fuss budget the policemen say you are.
Why the lieutenant is here. See, Teddy blew his bugle again last night.
Yes, we're going to speak to Teddy about that.
It's a little more serious than that, Miss Brewster.
And this is Mr. Witherspoon, the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, how do you do?
You've come to meet Teddy.
He's come to take him.
Annie's, I'm afraid the police want Teddy to go to Happydale today.
Oh, no. Not while we're alive.
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Brewster, but it has to be done. The papers are all signed, and he's going along with the superintendent.
We won't permit it. We'll promise to take the bugle away from him.
We won't be separated from Teddy.
Well, I'm sorry, ladies, but the law's the law. He's committed himself, and he's going.
If he goes, we're going too.
You'll just have to take us with him.
Well, why not?
Well, that's very sweet of them to want to, but it's quite impossible. We don't take sane people at Happydale.
Mr. Witherspoon, if you let us live there with Teddy, we'll make sure that Happydale is in our will for a very generous amount.
Well, Lord knows we could use the money, but I'm afraid...
Let's be sensible about this, ladies. For instance, here I am wasting my morning, and I've got serious work to do. You know there are still murders to be solved in Brooklyn.
Yes! Oh, are there?
Well, it's not just the bugle blowing and the people are afraid of it, but things could get worse. Sooner or later, we'll be put to the trouble of digging up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yeah, your nephew's spreading the news around that you got 13 bodies buried in your cellar.
Oh, but there are 13 bodies in our cellar.
And if that's why you say Teddy has to go away, we'll come on down and we'll prove it to to you.
Oh, there's one. Mr. Spinoza doesn't belong here, and he must leave. But the other 12 are married.
I don't think the lieutenant wants to look in the cellar. Why, he was telling me that just last year he had to dig up a half-acre lot. Weren't you, Lieutenant?
That's right.
Oh, you won't have to dig here. Graves are all marked. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers? Superintendent, don't you think you can find room for these ladies?
Well, they have to be
You
committed.
just come along with us and we'll show you the grave.
Well, I'll take your word for it, lady. I'm a busy man. Well, how about it, Super?
They have to be committed.
Well, Teddy committed himself. Can't they commit themselves? Can't they sign the papers?
Oh, yes, certainly.
If we can live with Teddy, we'll sign the papers. Where are they?
Yes, where are they?
He's coming around, Lieutenant.
Oh, good morning, Mr. O'Hara.
Good morning, Mr. O'Hara. Are you here too?
Yes, ma'am. We got your other nephew back in the kitchen.
Well, sign them up, Superintendent. I want this all cleaned up. Oh, 13 bodies. Oh.
Sign right here.
Oh, and you're right here, Aunt Martha.
I'm really looking forward to going. The neighborhood here has changed, so.
A front lawn again.
Oh, we're forgetting something.
What?
We'll need the signature of a doctor.
Oh. Dr. Einstein, would you come over and sign some papers, please?
Please, I must.
Just come on over, Doctor. I thought the doctor was going to operate on me last night. Just sign right here, Doctor. Yes.
Were you leaving, Doctor?
Yes, I must go.
Are you going to wait for Jonathan?
I don't think we're going to the same place.
Oh, Elaine, you're here. I'm glad. Stick around, eh?
Don't worry, I intend to.
Hello, Mike. Rooney. We picked up that guy that's wanted in Indiana. This is a description of his accomplice. It's lying there on the desk. Read it to me. Yeah. He's 54, 6'2", 240 pounds, blue eyes and a German accent. Poses as a doctor. Thanks, Mike.
Oh, it's all right, Lieutenant. The doctor here has just completed all the signatures.
Oh, well, thank you, Doc. You're really doing Brooklyn a service.
Now, Mr. Brewster,
Right here, next to Kim?
next to Ken.
There you go. Oh, so that makes everything complete, everything legitimate?
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, Annie's you're safe.
Well, when will you be ready to start?
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, why don't you go upstairs and tell Teddy just what he can take along?
Upstairs.
Oh, I can show you.
Oh, Mortimer, you stay here. We want to talk to you. Just upstairs, Mr. Witherspoon, turn to the left.
Mortimer, now that we're moving, this house really is yours.
Yes, dear, we want you to live here now.
Uh-oh, no, Aunt Abby. This house is too full of memories.
Oh, but you'll need a home when you and Elaine are married.
Darlings, that's very indefinite.
It's nothing of the kind. We're going to be married right away.
Mortimer, we're really very worried about something.
Oh, now, darlings, you're going to love it at Happy Dale.
Oh, we're very happy about the whole thing. That's just it. We don't want anything to go wrong.
Will they investigate those signatures?
Oh, now, don't you worry. They're not going to look up Dr. Einstein.
It's not his signature, dear. It's yours.
You see, you signed as next of kin.
Well, of course. Why not?
Well, dear, it's something we never wanted to tell you, but now you're a man, and it's something Elaine should know too. You see, dear, you're not really a Brewster.
Your mother came to us as a cook, and you were born about 3 months afterward. She was such a sweet woman and such a good cook. We didn't want to lose her, so Brother married her.
I'm not really a Brewster?
Oh, dear, don't take it too badly.
And Elaine, it won't make any difference to you?
Elaine, did you hear? Do you understand? I'm a bastard.
Well, I must get breakfast started.
Well, Mortimer's coming over to my house. Father's gone to Philadelphia, and Mortimer and I are going to have breakfast together.
Yes, I need some coffee. I've had quite a night.
In that case, I should think you'd want to go to bed.
I do.
One moment, Witherspoon. Take this with you.
We won't need the wagon. My car's out front.
Are you leaving, Jonathan?
Yeah, he's going back to Indiana.
Well, Jonathan, it's nice to know that you have someplace to go.
We're leaving too.
Yes, we're going to Happy Dale.
Oh, so this house has seen the last of the Brewsters.
Unless Mortimer wants to live here.
I have a suggestion to make. Why don't you turn the property over to the church?
Well, we never thought of that.
After all, it should be part of the cemetery.
All right, let's go. I'm a busy man.
Goodbye, Annie. Well, I can't better my record now, but then again, neither can you. At least I have that satisfaction. The score stands even. 12-12.
Jonathan always was a mean boy. Never could stand to see anyone get in better of him.
I wish we could show him that he isn't so smart. Mr. Witherspoon, does your family live with you at Happy Dale?
I have no family.
Oh, I suppose you consider everyone at Happy Dale your family.
Oh, I'm afraid you don't quite understand. As head of the institution, I have to remain quite aloof.
Oh, that must make it very lonely for you.
Yes, it does, but my duty is my duty.
Well, Martha, if Mr. Witherspoon won't join us for breakfast, I think at least we should offer him a glass of elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine?
We make it ourselves.
Right. Now, yes, of course, at Happy Dale, our relationship will be much more formal. But here, elderberry wine. One doesn't see very much elderberry wine nowadays. I thought I had had my last glass of it.
Oh, no. No, here it is.
Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those eyes? Oh gosh, oh, get 'em. How'd they get so